Feeling a little better than I did this morning. On my Diablo thing, I started a new game and I am not playing a hardcore character. And I think I got killed 2 or 3 times getting him, but I got it up to level 13. I've got most of the stuff I had done before finished, and I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow, but if I stream it tomorrow, it'll next time I stream, I'll be on it. But I just gave up on the hardcore. I might just get through the whole campaign and then give up on it, because to me it's really a letdown. Now there was just an update today. I'll know right away if it's any better, but it just kind of bums me out that I'm used to playing that game. I've played that game for a while. The fact that they've got the difficulty cranked up so fucking high on it, it's like, and it was kind of pissing me off with Diablo 3, but it wasn't anywhere near this bad. It's like Jesus Christ. Maybe it's me. I don't know, but it it just seems like the monsters should not be that bad at this easy of a fucking setting. I don't know. Okay, now on the UFO news, I've been waiting a while. I've been waiting a while to get something this good. Not gonna lie, I really have. And the first thing is, and this is not that big. That's why I want to just sort of ease you into it. I don't want your nipples to get too hard. But I think it was Tuesday. This is the first I'm hearing about it, but I think it was on Tuesday they said the UFO website for Arrow. I think it's Arrow. Well, anyways, that UFO group that the government's got, the website opened up for them to for them, and they said that the reporting tool for civilians would be up and running soon. I think, again, I don't want to don't hold your breath, don't get your hopes up, but I personally tweeted several members in Congress. Well, didn't tweet them, I stitched them on Thread. That's a thing. Let's start using that. Threads are stitches, not tweets. And the and I let him know. I go, look, from what we're hearing from Ross Coulthart, it's been over a year, and I go, that UFO group has not. They don't have a website. They don't have a phone number. They don't have an email for anything. And I told him, I go, in my opinion, they're fucking with you guys. They're supposed to have this thing up and running, and it's been a year. I'm sorry, I don't care how much of a fucking closeted boomer they are. They should have been able to fucking got an email address in a year. I'm not, even in my weakened condition, I'm pretty sure I can go fucking create a Google email account in about 5 minutes, or less. And so I told him, I go, it really looks like these guys are fucking with you. While this I consider huge, but again, take it with a grain of salt. Don't get your hopes up. That I am not sure of the names. I'm going to give them to you anyways. I'm probably wrong, but it's the best I can do. I didn't take notes. I didn't think it'd be all that good. It's Christian Harloff. And you spell Christian, and then Harloff, Harloff. And the title of the one I'm watching, and I'm like most of the way through it, wow, Pentagon's UFO online reporting tool launches. We have uncovered some things. Big thing. And that's the title. And this is where I quit watching, and I think I talked about this, and it's like 51 minutes into an hour and 19 minute video in like 24 seconds. If that helps you, in case they've got multiple ones, those are the specifics on it to help narrow down your search. I honestly don't. The first time I don't remember seeing anything by these guys, but I was kind of interested. And but they've got Ross Coulthart and Christopher Mellon. That's where I froze it. Both of them are on the screen. And they are talking about, and I'm going to watch it probably after the stream, but I had mentioned this before. Ross Coulthart, they said, is talking about that UAP spotted over Arctic Circle days before spy balloon. And the way he talked in the reporting I saw, and I think he was on News Nation, he said we will get more on that next year. And another thing, and again, if I didn't talk about this, I want to make sure I do, but I think I might have covered this on another stream. But I don't really get a lot of people in here, so maybe you didn't see that stream, and I should bring it up anyways. He said that we're going to get more information on that sometime next year. And Lou Elizondo said something big is coming next year. He didn't want to ruin it. He didn't want to out anybody, but he, as far as he's hearing, it sounds like we're going to have some big stuff next year. And I don't know if it's the same thing or if we got two big things coming. And but the big news, and I sincerely mean this, the big news, that guy that's in charge of the UAP program, the one that's supposed to be investigating, the one that sort of got moving when Christian Gillibrand started talking about an amendment on disclosure. The Pentagon's like, oh, you don't need that. We'll do it. Yeah, and then the check's in the mail, and the Pentagon won't come in your mouth. That's pretty much the upshot of it. But I think it's called Arrow. The anomalous something or other, aeronautic or aerospace, something or other. But it's AARO or AAROW or something like that. And it's news about that group. And they were saying that the director, who I think it's pronounced Sean, but I might be wrong on this and the name of the thing, but it's the UFO group, the one that is supposed to be getting to the truth of this, not NASA, but the one that was God, I think Arrow is the third name it's been on. It had one a while ago when I think Lou Elizondo ran it. And then it got another one, and the only thing everybody agreed on is whoever named that thing should be shot. I think there was a vote on that in Congress. I'm joking, but they see Sean Kirkpatrick, but I believe it's spelled Sean, like the famous actor, and it's Kirkpatrick or something close to that, I think, but I might be wrong. It's sounding like he's going to be replaced by the end of the year. So that's kind of a big thing. So that's kind of good. That's kind of really good. And and the thing is, I guess there have been not just, it might not even be Grouch, but that guy, that whistleblower that testified before Congress very bravely, came forward and told everything. It might not be him, or it might be him and others, but it sounds like multiple whistleblowers are coming forward and saying that Kirkpatrick guy should not be trusted. He has been lying to the public, and he's either ignoring or stonewalling or something of the whistleblowers. And so it sounds like he will be removed. And another thing, and I can't remember if I reported on this or not, that program originally reported to either a high mid-level or a mid-level flunky. And it sounds like it either has or it is being moved up the ladder at the Pentagon. It's somebody much, much higher up on the ladder is overseeing it. And that was the first indication that maybe the Pentagon is going to start taking this seriously. I think. So that's an indication that things might be improving. And then let me get this done. And now this. So it sounds like they are starting to take this seriously. And they went on to a whole big thing. And like, this is the thing. For anybody that wants answers on this UFO thing, or really, you know, there's a whole bunch of things that would fit under what I'm about to tell you. But I gotta go find a bed. Hang on. Yeah, I got a little bit of work done over here yesterday. I gotta make one for over here, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm kind of working on this. Ugh. But they were talking about that Kirkpatrick guy, and they were saying that a lot of these whistleblowers, they really don't trust him. There's a lawyer. There's either a lawyer representing these guys, or there's a lawyer and some of the people out there. Hey, how's everybody doing? This has been doing this a lot, and like, I unplugged the hard drive uh, up until I started the game. I don't know if it's on my end or if it's the most recent update. I really don't have a clue. Uh, it says it's recording. I hope you guys are. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say, but it's been doing this a little bit. I even when I got ready to do this, I rebooted everything. I unplugged the hard drive until I was getting ready to start Minecraft. I think I'm gonna try and remember to unplug it when I get done. I If there's a setting in here, find this video. If you're watching this on Twitter or Twitch, if there's a setting I'm unaware of, please find this video on YouTube when it's up in a few days, and comment in there and let me know. If there's a way on the Xbox I can have it power down, because that's the thing. When I power this thing down when I'm done, it when I'm done, it leaves the power on the hard drive. And to me, I don't know if it's just one or if all of them do it, but it would be nice if this thing would shut off the hard drive, like unpower it when But the problem is there's like a cooling fan on this thing. Now that when I power it off, I need to run until the temperature comes down so this thing will cool off properly. But I don't know if it's me, because this is something new. This just started, so I got a feeling it might be a product of an update that they just had. That I don't know for sure, but I suspect. Okay, down there. And so I don't know. One more thing I gotta fucking worry about now. Now is a perfect time for a creeper to come up behind me and blow me the fuck up. Okay. I'm out of logs, but let's see. I guess I gotta do 1, 2, 3. I felt kind of bad for him. I gotta be honest with you. I love it when the cats come and spend time with me. I really do. But I don't expect him to. At least not all the time. Now the cat, she's been getting really good about coming and cuddling up with me. Uh, but the male cat, uh, there's times where he does spend with my brother. He was really more my mom's cat. Well, really both of them were, but uh, I had to get on him when they first got him, and I would come and visit. I would have to get on him, so he kind of sees me as the law enforcement guy. He really does, and he's really because he as long as he behaves, he don't have a problem with me. But if he's being mean, like the other day, and I didn't get mad at either one of them because I really didn't know who started it. But I think I was out doing laundry. I think I had something in the laundry, or I went out to put dirty clothes in or something. And I heard this ruckus. Well, when I came in, they were both kind of upset, and then he bit her. And again, I was kind of the enforcer. I can't believe because he looked right at me and he was a little nervous and then he went and bit her. And I had a nice little talk with both of them, but I didn't get mad at either one of them. But I can't believe he would bite her like that in front of me if she hadn't have done something. I just can't believe it. And I really just can't believe it. But I talked to him and I got a feeling what it is because she'll come and do this to me. She'll come up to me and she will kind of crowd me. And she'll, rub her head up against mine. She'll cuddle into my legs. She'll follow me around. That's all he wants to do to her. I'm not kidding. That's all he wants to do to her. He just wants to be lovey and affectionate, and she doesn't want any part of it. She just literally does not want any part of it. And so I got a feeling because I think he was blocking the doorway, and when because she didn't want to get close to him, she doesn't mind him, but she wants to set some boundaries. And I don't know if I blame her because but the thing is, she'll do this to me. She does not like him crowding her when she's trying to eat. She'll steal his food. She'll steal his food in a heartbeat. And there's times where I've seen her eating his food, and he'll just be sitting there watching her, and I'll basically get her to leave his food alone, and then he just sits there looking at it. Well, he has a habit of not always eating his food. He's better with the dry food than the wet food, and she prefers the wet food to the dry food. Well, the thing for me is, half the food I pay for, half the food my brother pays for. I really don't want to throw any of the food out. So he has a history of not eating his food all the time, and she'll gobble it up. So all I usually do is make sure she leaves it until he's had a chance at it, and then I don't really care if she eats it so much. And the weird thing is, he's almost as overweight. I would say he's morbidly obese. He's almost as overweight as my brother is. He really is. But he has balls chopped off. I don't know what my brother's excuse is. And he but the funny thing is he will sit in there at times in the living room with my brother. when I was healthier and I was upstairs, occasionally I'd find him upstairs at the top. He wouldn't come into the room. He'd be upstairs at the top of the stairs, and I think he was hunting mice. Whether there's any really here or not, I think that's what he was doing. And and my brother thinks he might have been hunting them this week. And there's been 2 days where it, I'm pretty sure it was some kind of stomach fluid, but it looked like diarrhea. It was really dark, and her vomit doesn't look like that. I think it was his vomit because it smelled like vomit, it smelled like bile, and it didn't smell like poop. But it was, that's the color of it. It kind of looked like a really rancid diarrhea is what it looked like. 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. We're caught. I always like it when I got torches coming from one direction that match up with torches in another direction. That means it's probably right. And but he like when I first took my mom's room because I had fallen on the stairs, he would actually come in and lay on the bed. And I think the reason he doesn't now is I think he's having trouble because he struggled to get up on the bed then. He'd jump up and his back legs would be kicking, because he's just too heavy. He's literally just too fucking heavy for it. And I gotta remember to wash that today, because my brother put some pillows down for him, and he put like a little box he could step on to get up into the chair. And he's been in that chair in the living room, but he still comes over and he hangs out. Like if I'm not in there, he'll come into the bedroom, and I think it's because he misses my mom. And that was her room when she was alive. I didn't even move into it until I fucked up my leg, and just I'm a little afraid to use the stairs regularly. I use them in an emergency, and like right now I gotta get a virus scanner and put it on my computer. I got an email. It's probably bullshit, but I got an email, and there's something I need to do, but I need a virus scanner on it before I do it. I think it's legit, but what I'm gonna be doing, I don't want to do it without a virus scanner. And but I don't think it's from a bad source. I don't want to do this type of activity on the internet without a virus scanner. And I just don't want to talk about it because of the people that people are up to no good on the internet. But it's nothing bad. It's not like midget porn or anything like that. But um, and I was gonna do that the other day, and then by the time I got done at the grocery store, and there's more to it than this. By the time I got done at the grocery store, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing anything else right now. I gotta fix this, so I gotta path all the way down as I start to light this up. But yeah, I gotta get that so I can check that out if I can even find the email now. But I seriously doubt if it's anything serious. But it's one of those things where I don't want to find out 6 months from now. Oh my God, dumbass! If you'd have just done followed that thing, went in and checked out the offer on that website and see what it is. Uh, so I will check it out, and then depending on what it is, I'll probably talk about it in a stream, give you an update on what it is. But um, ooh, enemy spotted. But yeah, this is what I got this coming around now. I'm gonna try and do a whole loop, and I started the other one I still got to do, but that one there I sort of worked out the path I'm gonna take with it. I just got to put the logs up, and then I can have something under that, and then I got to go cut down some more oak trees. But I got to get a flaming sword so when I cut them, it'll just automatically. When I cut them, it'll automatically cook them. But yeah, he'll come in the morning, and a lot of it is. And like today earlier, I got up. I had to take a leak. I got up, and then I was gonna do the next step of my lawn. I forgot to put something in. The female cat hasn't been laying on the bed as much, and usually if I wash the bedding, she'll start laying on it again. She likes a clean bed. She really does. Can't say that I blame her really. And she hasn't. It's been a few days, and like last week, I just did not feel like doing it. So this week, I'm trying to get it done. Here she comes. Hey there, sweetie. Yeah, yeah. Her stomach is all screwed up. Like right now, it's 140. It's like 150, and her stomach thinks it's 250. And but she good girl. Oh, she gonna come sit with me. That we like that. And well, anyways, she comes, and sometimes she's there. Sometimes she just comes and gets me for food. And she okay, these are the ones I got to replace. And then what'll happen is after they eat breakfast, he will usually come and lay in the hallway. And I basically let him know he can come in. I don't care. She might have a problem with it. I don't. And I let him know he can come in if he wants, and he doesn't. But he hangs out in the hallway. And I think some of it is when my brother is snoring, uh, or or a little gassy. I think the cats don't like being there. I really don't. Or if he hasn't showered lately. Usually, like once a week or a couple times a week, I shower. Depends on how sweaty I am. And if nothing else, I will wash off I'll wash off the trouble areas with a wash rag and wash my hair, to kind of freshen up. And but I don't. I might be wrong, but I don't think I stink like he does. And I think if he's real smelly, I don't think they like to be with him. But I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's the case. But like when he's in there snoring in the morning, because I get up around 4 or 5 o'clock with him to feed him, and then I sometimes go back to sleep. See, I don't think I snore like he does. His sounds like a fucking hole breach in a space station. It's pretty bad. And the I don't think they like it. Also, I really don't know how bad it is because some of it I think is just for attention. I really do, um, but like on his TV, I had to shut it off when he was in the nursing home when my mom was still alive because he was the only one that used it. He'd put the text, he'd put the subtitles up, you know, because he'll claim he's hard of hearing, and I really don't know. But the funny thing is, he claims he's hard of hearing. He puts the subtitles on, and then most of the time he's got his nose buried in his phone. So I don't know. Like I said, you just never know how much of it's real and how much of it's for attention. I really don't. I don't care either. Like, we went to the grocery the other day, and he's like, well, I'll do the best I can. And he goes, just so you know. And I go, well, just so you know, I go, if you have problems, I go, there's not a fucking thing I can do other than maybe call an ambulance for you. And he's like, oh, okay. And then, he seemed okay. He didn't see, it's like, yeah, I don't know what you want me to do. You're too fucking fat and heavy for me to fucking, take care of you. If you can't get around on your own 2 feet, you're going to sit there until you either recover or you're going to sit there until a fucking ambulance comes. And, you gotta, if you're doing this because it's real, then fine. Get ready to call an ambulance. They might have to put you back in a nursing home. because I can't sit there all day. I can't. When I get done, I got to get my ass home because I cannot be out there trying to drive if I end up getting lightheaded. So I got to get my shit done. I got to get back. It's just that simple. Not trying to be mean. I'm not mad. But you basically told that nursing home. We found out from the girl because she was trying to find out if he had permission to come back here or not. You convinced them you could take care of yourself. And I think he was really just trying to get back here so he could get on pain meds because he wasn't getting any over there, I think. And I don't know. And you convinced them you could take care of yourself, so you gotta fucking do it, or you gotta get yourself back into a nursing home. Because if I was healthy, I'd be working, and I wouldn't be able to take care of you. I'm not healthy. I'm having enough trouble taking care of myself. Now, if he ends up getting hurt, something real, I just, he's too heavy. I could help take care of my mom because she wasn't like 300 fucking pounds. And I told him this the one time. I go, hey, look, if this works out where this becomes my place, because I didn't know at the time my sister was stealing it. I didn't know she had put it into the trust. I was under the impression that it would be mine in the will. I didn't know she had done any of this. And I look back now and I think my mom tried to warn me, but she was so fucking far out of it that, again, I think any lawyer who did what this guy did should probably be disbarred. Although I will say, my understanding of reading the trust, he didn't do my sister any favors. He really didn't, because here we are. She was all gung-ho. They were going to sell it. We have to move out. This, that, and the other. We've been here like for a fucking year. And after that deputy sheriff, for all the problems he didn't take care of, he at least, I think, got her woke up, because we don't have anybody bugging us to fucking move out now, which is kind of nice. And, the problem is, there's supposed to be money in that thing, like everything, 100% of what was sold. And I already told her, like a fucking year ago, hey, I need this much a month to pay for, food and all this other stuff. Well, it looks like she's hoarding it so she can fucking line her pockets with it when we die. I just hope she pays the fucking taxes on this place. But, like, she's got it in her head that half of that belongs to her and my oldest brother. Well, no. As soon as my mom signed that trust, everything in the estate, the house, my mom's car, everything else went into that. And that money, none of it goes to my sister and my oldest brother. And the worst part of this, it's not like I talked my mom into doing this. I wanted the house like it was supposed to be. My sister did all this shit. She was fucking wheeling and dealing and doing all this fucking bullshit. And she was doing all this fucking bullshit. And she didn't want to live up to it. She put all this, and again, I think her and my brother had this planned out. It was probably my brother and my brother-in-law that came up with this fucking clandestine fucking, but I really don't know. I honestly don't know, but that would be my suspicion. Because, it seems like there were issues with the mail around when we got the trust from the lawyer. It's like I've been here for 4 or 5 years. We get mail. We get at least junk mail or something every fucking day. In the 4 or 5 years, I think I can count on one hand the number of times we didn't get mail. Well, we started where 3, 4, 5 days in a row, no junk mail, not even junk mail. And I told my brother, I don't know what's going on, but I think something funny's going on. So I told him, you need to do it when you're home, but when you're not home, any day I can, I will go out and get the mail early. And I did, and lo and behold, as long as I was getting the mail early, we got mail every day like normal. And then we got the letter from the lawyer, but with the will and the trust and everything in it. And then once we got that, I started thinking, this is probably, let's see what happens. Well, when I quit going out early, we were not getting mail. We stopped getting mail for several days. And then all of a sudden we started getting mail again. So it's like I think they figured out it must have got delivered. But I would go out and get the mail. Maybe they thought those were days we weren't getting mail. I don't know. But they had been telling us, "Oh, you guys have to move out. You have to do this and that and the other thing," and because they didn't want us to get the trust. Because trust says they can't sell it unless we abandon it. And the only way they can sell this place is if it becomes unsafe for us. And they've bought us another house. This trust was made for a lot more money than what's in it. But she's got in her head, because when she found out we weren't moving, she goes, "Well, if you guys are going to stay here, then you guys got to buy it, because we got to get it out of Mom's name." And it's like, well, yeah, put it in the trust is what I'm thinking. But I didn't say nothing. And I told her, I go, well, because she's like, she seems to think that we could just shit. I could get you some Monopoly money, but she basically one day she's going, well, you guys are going to have to buy the house, and if you're not going to move out and blah, blah, blah. And then I go, we can look at that, because we had seen this letter and I was working on it. We had seen this letter that, we were supposed to get money from the bank and the brokerage house. Now, I got the money from the brokerage house, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think I got half of it. And my brother got nothing. Or I got a quarter of it, she got a quarter of it, and the other half, I don't know where it went. But me and my sister each got half, or we each got a quarter, and I have no idea where the other half went. And I really don't. And when my brother's phone sent my oldest brother a message, and we showed him, hey, here's the statement from the brokerage. Jesse didn't get any money for it. We sent it from his phone. I didn't get any money, and we told him, it's like, hey, look, we don't know what Laura's doing, but we got to get her removed as the executor of the will, because she's doing something funny here. Well, my oldest brother knew about it. He sent back. He goes, oh, if you knew what was going on, you'd be okay with it. Well, what's this secret plan you and my sister have with the money? What's going on? This ain't right. If it's a good deal, then tell us what it is. But him and my sister didn't want to tell us what it is. So all this, and generally when you're hiding stuff like that, it's not a good thing. It's really not. As far as I can tell, she tried to get her hands on the money in the first annuity. I think she fucked up the last annuity. It was only for me, and I got a feeling, because I can't get my money out of it. And I think she tried to get the money out of it like she did the first one. The first one wouldn't deal her. I think she fucking triggered some kind of a banking alert, and they won't send the money because the guy who, whether he did it or not, he's the one at the bank that would have sold this to my mom, whether it was him or his predecessor. And he told me, he goes, I don't understand this. He goes, they got the death certificates for your mom and your dad. That's all they should have to turn that over, and they won't turn it over. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything, but I did reach out to one of the state legislators. I go, hey, can you look into this and either get them to send me my money, or basically pass something that they can no longer sell products in Wisconsin? Because I go, and maybe force them to turn all their Wisconsin accounts over to a company that isn't going to cheat their customers. And she asked me, she got a hold of me, and she goes, could you please send me everything you got? I go, I'll get you what I can, but I go, I broke my foot and I can't get around very good. And she was going to look into it. I haven't heard anything. They haven't sent me a check yet, but and the thing is, if I get a lawyer to sue them, I'm probably going to eat up 90% of it getting it. So they probably got a little scam going on, and that is what it is. But I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna go cut. I forgot. I'm gonna go cut down some trees. But yeah, she basically said, she goes, oh well, if you get that money, you only have to come up with half of it. And she goes, and then she got real serious. She's like, I'm not exempt. She's like, and that money, it's mine and Jim's. It's not yours guys's. And I'm thinking, no, it go. I'm sitting there. I didn't argue with her, but I'm like, no, it goes in the trust. And the worst part is, she's the one that drew this fucking thing up, and she doesn't understand how it works. She absolutely doesn't. everything in that trust and everything my mom owned, the property, her car. The only way is if before my mom died, that car got transferred over to my sister, then she might, or at least if it was transferred to my sister before my mom got real sick and ended up in a hospice, then she could definitely lay claim to it. And the other thing my sister doesn't understand, I think, once my mom died, this became an irrevocable trust. It's not revocable anymore. My mom could revoke it while she was alive. Nobody can do it now that she's dead. And my sister's always making this claim like, oh, well, financially, we just can't keep the house. I don't see anything in there. I don't see any clause in it that says she can sell it if a financial reason comes. So, like, the thing I'm hoping is if push comes to shove, maybe we can negotiate it with the IRS. At least my brother would. I don't know how much longer I got. Oh, that brings us, if you wouldn't mind, write your congressman and anybody that you elect, anybody with any authority, hell, even the dog catcher, and basically ask them to legalize assisted suicide. Because I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, I don't know how much longer I got on anything, but I would seriously not want to be homeless. I really wouldn't want to be homeless. I don't want to starve to death. I don't want to have to go and try and, I'm going to get busted. I'm not in any shape for this. I wouldn't want to have to start stealing to survive. And if you got people that are sick, if you got people that aren't working, I think it would be easier to get legalized suicide passed than to fix the disability thing. I think everything I got wrong with me, if I was a drug addict or an alcoholic, I'd have disability. I firmly believe it. And I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody. I just don't want to be a second-class citizen because I'm not a junkie. I firmly don't want to be a second-class citizen because I'm not a junkie. I think the fact that I'm not a junkie is a good thing. And I don't know. I don't know. And I watched my mom die in hospice. I really don't want to do that either. So if you could get that passed, then the Chuck Schumer's amendment for the defense authorization bill and Senator Gillibrand and Senator Mark Rubio's amendment for the intelligence authorization bill, I'd really like you to write everybody you can in Washington, because I think that's where it matters, and basically let them know you need it passed out of the House, you need them passed out of the Senate, and let's get it to the president's desk to sign it. And I'm not kidding you. I think on some level this may or may not happen, but like the thing now where they're gonna fire that guy by the end of the year and replace him, or maybe they're not gonna fire him. Maybe they'll just ship him off to polish somebody's fucking desk chair. I don't know, but they're getting rid of that one guy. Maybe they are gonna do something. I just don't have a lot of. I'm not holding out a lot of hope on it. But hey, if it happens, great. If not, nothing new, And but I'm kind of in a bummed out mood. I'm gonna probably end the stream there. Oh, the other thing that's kind of new and interesting, there was a guy on Morning Joe, and I can't remember the name of the book. I really wish I could. Just saw it this morning. I want to say it's like Breaking Twitter or Breaking Elon or something like that, but it just came out, I think, this week or last week. And they had him on Morning Joe for an interview, and they showed a clip. He basically interviewed Elon to do this book, and he apparently has permission to show the tapes as well. Well, Elon's sitting there in his chair, and this guy's behind the camera, so you can just hear his voice. You can't see him. And he basically was talking to Elon, and I'm going to paraphrase it. I can't even get close to word for word. But he was talking to Elon about buying Twitter. He goes, you bought Twitter for like $44 a share or $45, $44 or $45 a share. And he goes, it's worth less than half of that. Now, I think it's worth like $19 a share, but it's worth about half of what he paid for it. And he goes, and he was talking about him hiring this lady, and she's got some expertise in it. And her job is to right the ship and get it to start making ad revenue again. And the guy made a comment, and Elon Musk, I got to give him credit. He did not flip out. But I'm going to give you my opinion on what he did. The guy basically said, he goes, yeah, you hired this girl. Her job is to fix things, get ad revenue back. And he goes, the problem is, you keep screwing things up. You keep saying things that make it impossible for her to do her job and start earning revenue again. And I'm not kidding you. There's a thing that's called a pregnant pause. And what it is, it's when somebody's talking or somebody's asked a question and there's this unusual delay before they answer. This thing was a mega pregnant pause. He just sat there, and I'm not going to say it's a great poker face, but I've seen worse. But he was sitting there, and you could just see he was waiting for the light bulb to come on so he had an idea. And then, nothing came. And in my opinion, you sometimes see people where they start talking. Trump does this a lot. They start talking, and they are waiting. They're just trying to fill space and talk until they figure out what they're going to say. That appears to me what he did. And what he did is he started talking about, he's like, well, in the movie Princess Bride, and, and he was pausing and rambling, and it really looked like he was desperately searching for the right answer. And he basically talked about, there's a character in Princess Bride, and when he finally finds the guy who killed his father, because I've seen this clip, it's like I've seen a clip, I've seen the meme where the guy's like, my name is Antonio or whatever, Antonio something or other, you killed my father, prepare to die. And he's like, he's talking Princess Bride. He goes, oh yeah, the when the guy, the guy, the main character, and he was just basically, how long can I dick this out until I figure out what I want to say? And he goes, that guy basically, he tells him, there's nothing I want, money, power, whatever. And he goes, and that's where I'm at. He goes, I'm gonna say what I want to say, and if I go broke, I'll go. I don't think so. At a certain point, and this is the thing I don't understand, there was a movie, God, I can't remember if I saw it on Roku or if I saw it on Prime. It's a movie, it's got Jamie Foxx in it, and it's based on a true story. He ends up representing a guy in a case. Doesn't matter what the case. It was really good. I saw clips. This is the thing. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I told my brother, they have a lot of fucking ads for stuff on Prime, stuff on Apple TV. I occasionally have access to Prime. And I can watch what's on there, and this looked good. I didn't know where it was. I just saw the ad for it, and there was a scene in there where he had this guy, and he's asking him questions about his yacht and how expensive the lobsters were, and he starts going off on the guy for being rich and taking advantage of people. And the guy goes, well, I've had about enough of this. And it was a rich dude from Canada, and it was a real story. It happened in the 90s, because at a certain point in the movie, they had the OJ trial was on TV while it was going on. And he goes, I've had about enough of this. And Jamie Foxx looked at me, you sit your ass down. I'm not done with you yet. And And the judge kind of got it. He goes, I don't allow that kind of talk in my courtroom. So he goes, I advise you to watch it. He didn't say nothing, but it was really good. So I love that where he's like, you sit your ass back down. It was. Oh, I'm sorry, Patches. And I thought it was really good. I really thought that was good. And but when it was over, so if you do watch it, make sure you stick around. It's like a Marvel movie. Don't fucking cut the movie right after it's over, because what they do is after it's over, there's a minute, and then what they do is it's like and then this was based on the actual story, but it's like Animal House. They kind of tell you what happened afterwards, and the rich guy at a certain point, his shareholders or his board of directors basically kicked him out of his own company. It was his company, but it was publicly traded, and at a certain point they kicked him out. And I'm kind of wondering with what Elon is doing to Tesla and what he has done to Twitter. When, because as far as I know, these things are publicly traded. When is the people responsible to the shareholders going to basically kick him out for fucking up the stock? I mean, my God, he cut Twitter's share price in half. He's had problems with Twitter. I mean, I really didn't know, and I kind of like the guy writing the book, where he basically said that, he really thought, and he's really had to rethink it, but he really thought Elon Musk was like Edison, the guy who invented the phone or whatever. Or no, that'd be Bell. But he really did. He thought he was going to be this great inventor who was going to give us self-driving cars and get us to Mars. And he said, I don't know anymore. He goes, I really don't know if he's the guy, because he goes, we were, it's kind of like Trump. We were kind of sold this bill of goods about how competent he was. And he goes, I don't know anymore. I've been saying this for a while. Like, look, I don't have anything against the guy. I don't want to see him lose all his money or whatever. But they can't have him involved in anything to do with space anymore. Those satellites of Starlinks, I'm hearing that they're dropping radiation or something. They're not good. And then you look what he did with Russia, where Ukraine was about ready to kick the shit out of Russia, and he just suddenly cut their Starlink access as soon as they got near Russia's border. So the drones they were sending there to blow shit up, they just dropped into the sea and washed up on shore. And he just told his guys, hey, if they get anywhere near Russia's border, cut the feed. Cut them out. And afterwards, I don't know who talked to him, because I doubt if we're getting the straight scoop from him on it. But afterwards, I guess he kind of agreed maybe he shouldn't have done that. Yeah, you think? And I'm sorry, but, a lot of these countries in Europe that are threatened by Russia, they should not allow him to do any fucking business in their country anymore. None. And after he damaged Ukraine, after he maybe stopped them from having a victory, that might have ended the war. You never know. That might have, for all we know, they had something critical there. Well, then now they're warned and they got it out of there. Could have taken out crucial military supplies or equipment, like some of their ships, and he fucked it all up. Well, then he turned it over to where he's not in charge of that anymore. Well, the damage is done. Europe, all of Europe, the UK, even America, none of them. He should be losing his military contracts and all this other shit. Done. That's what should be happening. And see, this is the thing. Like, he was always making a big deal about how, hey, if my people want to have a union contract, they can have a union. They can come down in Texas and vote right now, or somewhere. I think he was saying they could come to his headquarters. They can vote on a union right now. But he said, and he was being honest. I think he was being honest. I don't really blame him for this, but he's like, right now they get stock shares. As part of an employee incentive thing. They get profit sharing and stuff. He goes, well, if we have to go to a union, they're going to have to negotiate for all that. So they're going to immediately lose that. And he goes, they want to negotiate for it. That'd be fine. Well, then what you find out is he's under problems with the labor department because they don't treat black people right. I don't know if any of this is true. I only know what's reported. But they're saying that, they started getting complaints because black people are not being treated right. And then what they did is they took it was like something out of South Park. Like if you ever saw that South Park movie where they went to war with Canada and they did the military and all the black people were in one quadrant and then they said, yeah, we're launching Operation Get Behind the Darky, and what they did is they sent the black people in to die and the white people were hiding behind them. And Chef is like, yeah, screw this shit. And but that's what they did. They put all the black people, according to what was reported. I don't know. But from what was reported, they put all the black people in one section of the plant, and they called it the plantation. You can't make this up. You literally can't make this up. And this is like an old story. This was from my first plant here in Wisconsin. There was this guy, and I'm not gonna. Anybody that was there, they'll know who I'm talking about, and they probably heard the story. This is just nothing. But if people want to lie about it, I can't stop them. I can only tell you what was going on and what I heard. I didn't witness it, but this is what the water cooler talk was, as you might want to call it. They had a guy, and he was one of the union appointed people. Safety rep. And I can tell you from my experience, this is a guy that, if you weren't one of his drinking buddies, if you weren't one of his good old boys, and probably if you were a minority, he didn't do a whole lot for you. Because I had an issue, and he even admitted that there was probably a little bit of an ergonomics issue, but I brought him out, my committee man brought him out for a safety thing. And this guy just sat there. He didn't do dick. He literally did not do dick. He just took the guided tour from Krusty the Clown. That's what our alternate committee man's nickname was. And I heard him say, well, there's probably, he goes, I think there's an ergonomics issue here. And he goes, I don't know if we can make a safety issue. He didn't try. And then what gets me is, I kind of, got a hold of the shop chairman. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I go, he's the safety rep. He should have done something. And then, I got called into the shop chairman's office, and I thought they were doing it to intimidate me. I really did. And then the shop chairman goes, yeah, he goes, he said it real matter of fact. He goes, I let everybody listen to your message, because I basically said, what if they fuck over one more worker for management, they get a free set of steak knives or some shit like that, I think. I think that was the time. But as soon as he said something about letting them hear my message, I just kind of smiled like, oh, okay. Because he was being honest about it. He wasn't, there was no hiding this. He was honest up front about it. I kind of appreciated that. And the safety rep, he goes, are you under the impression? He goes, I'm just a guy. I'm appointed. I'm not elected. He goes, I'm just a resource for your committee man. And the committee man, the alternate, didn't really like it. He goes, I basically tell him what's what. And he goes, if something isn't getting done, then he goes, you got to blame your elected officials because I'm just there as a resource. Well, the committee man didn't really like being thrown under the bus, but that's what happened. Well, this was like a couple years later. I was no longer in that area, but this was like a couple years later. And it was one of his buddies. And I just want to show you, this is the marked difference, okay? For me, it's hands off. I'm just here as a resource. I can't do anything. Nothing I can do for you. It's fucking Krusty the Clown's problem. You got to get his tongue off management's ass for him to do his fucking job. I still got problems with my shoulder from that bullshit. And what happened was, it was one of his buddies. It was one of his drinking buddies, I would be willing to bet. I don't know who it was, but it was somebody that he really wanted to help. Wasn't me, guy with lower seniority that they didn't have to fucking do their job. and they got the ergonomics girl to take a look at it, and what happened was she did her due diligence. She had been trained just like he'd been trained for safety. She had been trained for ergonomics, and she ran it through the system. It was probably a racist piece of shit, would be my guess. And she did her due diligence, and there was nothing there. Now with me, he even admitted, yeah, there's definitely like an ergonomics thing, or probably an ergonomics thing. He was admitting that. This one here, she probably did her job, and there's just nothing there. Well, he wanted her to make something up. It was like fucking Trump, and she wasn't doing it. Well, he was going off on her. He was absolutely going off on her. Well, then he I think he used racial stuff. I think he actually used the N word. You know, rhymes with Tigger would be my guess. That's what I had heard. And instead of removing him for what he did, they ended up removing both of them. And you say what you want, but that's what I heard. I didn't witness any of it. The people that did witness are probably going to lie about it if you ask, but that's what I heard through the grapevine happened. And, here's the thing. Now, if his buddy is saying stuff like that, it's not nearly as bad. But when you've got like a high ranking union appointee guy who used to be a shop chairman, when they're doing that, I don't think he understands how much of a lawsuit he may have opened the union up to on that. And now this was my original plant. This wasn't down in Indiana. Well, then what had happened was something was going on, and this would be the shop chairman's brother. I was friends with him at the time, and I knew him. We went out drinking. At the time, I don't even know that anything bad. I'm just saying I was really good friends with him. I hung out with him at the time. Well, he was talking about something, and he didn't really understand it. And I go, well, he's going to be running for shop chairman. It's like this thing going on with the game, and I was a lot better doing it when I was healthy. But the stuff that's going on with this game right now in Ebony, I finally figured it out. I'm going to end the stream with the news from Ebony. There was something cool happening on there. I still don't want to recommend it, but if like this gets fixed out, if this actually gets fixed, I might recommend the game. I don't know if I still want you to have kids because playing it. Not unless you're really going to heavily monitor them, because there was talk that there was like some nudity going around it. I really don't know, and but God, I lost my train of thought there. Um, I lost the train of thought. Well, anyways, it's I'm fading. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Today hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been great either. My balance, I'm still getting around reasonable without the walker, but my balance is a little more off today. And but yeah, right. In case I just don't want to forget. Um, write the people you know and that you vote for, and just basically get them to legalize assisted suicide. Just I'll do a short one on that before the stream's over. Just want to make sure I do it, and then write about the two amendments for the defense authorization bill and the intelligence authorization bill to look into UFOs. Get those passed. Get them sent to the president. No amnesty. If people are guilty, they should go to jail. Normal criminal rules should apply. But oh, oh, but yeah, he didn't understand what was going on. I go, he's going to run for shop chairman. Well, there are these people that keep attacking our alliance headquarters in Ebony, and the way the rules are, if you're in an alliance, you're supposed to be untouched by people in our server. You know, they can attack the people that are unaligned with an alliance, but the people in alliance are supposed to be safe. Well, there's a handful of people, they just do what they want, and well, like I finally figured it out. They've done it like 2 or 3 times now. Well, the thing that's really pissing them off is uh, they wanted to merge with this guy and make one big team, and he didn't want it. He goes, "Hey, you guys do what you want. I'm going to keep my team. I'm going to keep running it." And when he didn't play ball, it really looks like they started making up shit about him. It looks like they really started making up shit about him being a pervert and all this other stuff. And because I think what had happened was and again, they're just taking advantage of what happened. I think what honestly happened, don't know for sure, don't really care. I just want to go play the game when I got time. I think there were some married women. By the way they've been acting, I would suspect that they're abusive, would be my guess. And they started flirting, or he started. It was a consensual thing as far as I can tell. And they started flirting with him. Well, one of them wanted to leave their husband for him, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! We're just talking here. This is just a friendly thing." And the they flipped out. Well, they're attacking us. Well, I finally figured it out. They're taking out our headquarters because every week, I can't think of one except for one where maybe he wasn't able to play, but every week or every day they have these monarch challenges in the game. And you are rated individually, and your alliance or team, alliance, whatever you want to call it, is rated as a group. Well, every single week he comes in first place for gathering. Well, you can gather faster from your alliance farm. So they keep blowing up our alliance because I think what's really pissing them off is we went from having just about 90 people on our team. Now we're down to 15. And what happened is we're still hitting top five. He's still got some good players on the team. We're still in the top five. And they can't get everybody to leave. And we're, even with the minimal people we got, we're still like top five, top six, top seven. We're not top two, top three as often, but we're still hitting top five a lot. And there's a couple events where he's coming in first. So they started blowing up our alliance. And that was the thing here. I'm like, well, he's going to run for shop chairman. I saw it. Back then, 5 minutes. Now, takes me, if I can even figure it out, takes me longer. Takes me a lot longer. Sometimes it's not useful by the time I figure it out, or somebody's figured it out for me. And sucks. And it really sucks. But, I told him, I go, yeah, he's going to run for it. He goes, he can't. And then clicked. He goes, yeah, he's not the safety rep anymore. I go, yeah. And I go, I don't get it. I go, there can't be enough people that are going to vote for him to get him in. And he goes, well, what makes you say that? I go, do you realize how much of a lawsuit he opened this union up to when he started calling that woman the N-word? I go, my God. I go, you can't have, it isn't 1950s anymore. This day and age, you cannot have a racist. You can have a racist, but it's got to be a smart racist. If you're going to have a racist, there's got to be one smart enough that he's not going to sit there in front of a whole crowd of people and call someone the N-word. You just can't. But the thing that got me was, well, gee, where was all this bravado when I needed help? I had a real issue. He likely had a made up issue. Where was all this help for me? Why wasn't there something done so maybe my shoulder wouldn't have gotten injured? And it's like, what the fuck? But he ended up, and then he did lose the election. I hopefully, I think it was, I was hoping it was because people knew, yeah, you can't have somebody that's going to act like that in charge of your union. They can't be in an elected office. They can't be in an appointed office. You just go take your job, sit down, and don't do that anymore. But you can't be in there. You just can't. Well, the thing on Ebony that I find pretty entertaining is there's things I would normally do, and some days are better than others. A lot of it's when I'm in bed. If I'm in bed, I'm not in here. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll crack on Ebony. I'll do that. Well, there's things I would do that I can't do because we got these assholes on the server, and their team gets to do it because the rules. The other teams pretty much follow the rules. Well, these guys, and I made the comment because our leader, I got to be honest, I really don't know. To me, if you're gonna accuse of somebody of being a pedophile, or not a pedophile, but a harasser, a creeper, this kind of shit, you ought to have some evidence. And you can't have all these excuses like, oh well, I can't tell the game because and I finally asked that this week. I go, look, the thing I can't understand, I go, Thunder is supposedly this horrible person. He's done all this awful stuff. And I go, nobody's offered any proof. I go, they offer stuff, they talk a big game, they offer all this stuff, and then when they show the evidence, it doesn't back up anything they claim. One guy, and because I had said this before, you had the one guy in World Chat, he made all these claims. Oh, he did it to me. So I go, you would think that he's got texts of him doing this. And I go, no, all he showed us in our Alliance chat was more baseless accusations with no evidence. That's not what he told us in World Chat. He basically said, yeah, I got all this text. He did it to me because I had a feeling he was a guy pretending to be a girl, which is fucking creepy to me. But he claimed that, he did this to him. So you would think that any text he was going to share with us would show him doing that. No, it was just him being accused. And the guy goes, look, I don't know what you're talking about. I was just talking. There was nothing serious. And then he goes, the girl wanted to leave her husband for me. And he goes, these girls you're talking about, he goes, I'm hearing the stories. They're showing nude pictures on the server. And he goes, and now because I didn't want to marry him, because I didn't want to merge with that other team, now they're turning this around and making me look like the fucking villain here. That was his blazing evidence. Well, that's not what he claimed. That's not what he claimed in the World Chat. And these guys are dicks. I again, whether it's mental or physical, I think the reason why those women wanted to leave him for the guy who runs my team is they're abusive husbands, would be my guess. And our leader was talking about, he goes, I'll leave the team if you guys want. He goes, I feel bad for you guys. You can't do this. You can't do that. Because I think I had mentioned the only thing I really regret is I can't go and mine relics. I can't go mine for resources. I can't go attack sub-cities on NPC controlled sub to level up my generals. I can't because I got to worry about getting attacked. And I go, I don't know. I really don't want to give in to those people. I go, the rest of it I could give two shit about. I don't mind maintaining a bubble. I go, there's going to be times I forget now, and I go, I won't like it when I get hit, but I go, I really don't mind maintaining a bubble. I would just like the freedom to play the game, on those rare occasions. And I go, I can't do that right now, but I go, I'm not blaming you for it. And I told him, I go, if I do anything, I go, I will leave the game. And I'm not playing nearly as much. But I told him if I do anything, I'll leave the game because I go, going to another server, I go, another server probably won't have this deal where it's supposed to be this cooperative thing where we're not fighting amongst ourselves so we can do better during the server wars. And I go, and going to another team on here, I go, what's the point of going to another team? Because I go, once they're done with you, they're going to do this to somebody else. I go, all this is these guys want to fucking ruin the other team so that they can just suddenly become the only ones that get to be king. They don't want to, because I go, that was one thing they did. There's people in that team that have just gone on about how they don't really want, they don't think that the throne rotation is a good thing and all this. And I go, they're going to do this to somebody else. I go, who's next? I go, who do I go to? Who do I go to that I know isn't going to be the next one? I go, even if I go to MMO, who's to say they're not next? Who's to say THC? I don't know if they will be next because I think they're in on it with MKA now family FAM, and there's a, and all I and then I told him, I go, because he was going to leave the team and then go just start attacking these people, the lower ranked ones. And I told him, I go, I really don't want you to go. I really don't. I go, I might quit playing, but I go, whether you stay or not, I go, if I'm gonna quit playing, I'm gonna quit playing. You leaving isn't gonna change that. I go, in fact, it might increase the likelihood I'm gonna quit playing because I don't like this shit. I go, I really don't. And I go, but on the other hand, I go, I would like to see those people pay for what they've done to us and others on this server. I go, I really like that idea. And what happened was, and I don't know if it's a friend of, I don't know if it's a friend of Thunder's. I don't know if it's Thunder's alternate account. I really don't. But this guy, his name is called Purge is in his name, and his team is AOD Alliance of Death or something like that. And he has just been butchering family. And the funny thing is, he's been going after people. He's only like level 30. I think I'm 25 or 26 right now. He's only level 30. He has taken out people that are like 2 to 4 levels higher than him. And I didn't know that at the time, but I was reading chat, and he was just going off on people. But he's doing it polite. He's not doing what these guys where they're coming on and making these like horrible accusations, these inflammatory comments, which should be violating the game rules. I mean, not the server rules, but the game. Because every time I reboot the thing or log in for the day, there's a thing like the minute I come on the game, go, hey, please keep chat courteous and friendly. Well, he's doing that. He's absolutely keeping it courteous and friendly. And you've got people in that group family. See, they've seen this happen to us. And they're like the fucking Germans with the Nazis. Hey, maybe they're not Nazis, but they're fucking sitting in the team watching this shit go on, and they didn't care because it didn't bother them. Well, there's one girl that was complaining because he just butchered her, and she's like, "This isn't fair. There's rules on the server, and everybody should follow them." And I think this guy goes, "Well, yeah, you should really talk to members of your team because they're breaking the rules on this server all the time." And he goes, and nothing ever happens to them. He goes, guess what? Nothing's going to happen to me. He goes, and then he's been telling them the same thing. He's like, all you got to do is, hey, if you want to be safe, all you got to do is leave that team. Go join another team. Don't be on any team with those guys in there. Just don't be in there with any team that's like those guys with those guys on it. They're on their own now. And he goes, until then, I'm going to keep butchering you guys. And because that was the one day I told him, I go, look, I don't understand this. I go, you're saying that Thunder's done all this horrible stuff. He's such a bad person that he can't be on a team. We can't be friends with him. We can't be on his team. And, when it's been brought up multiple times that if he really is this bad, why don't you report him to the game? And because I go, here's the thing. If the game doesn't care, we shouldn't care. I sincerely believe that. If it's okay with the people that own and run the game, then it should be okay with us. But I go, you guys are so convinced in your moral superiority, even though you guys come off like abusive people. You're probably abusing your wives and whatnot. This is why your wives probably want to leave you. And but I go, you've been doing all this stuff. And We're not allowed to be on his team or we're going to get attacked. We're not allowed to even be friends with him or we're going to get like I'm just basically speaking the truth here. I'm like, look, you guys haven't and I'm basically saying I'm next. After you get done with him, you're coming after me. And I go, I don't really care because I started playing this when my ankle got broke and I was bedridden. I got people on here complaining that I don't play enough or I'm not. I go, I've been playing for a couple months. I really think I've done pretty good. But I go, this was something a game I wanted to try. I was bedridden because of my ankle, and I go with this shit. I go, I may end up quitting the game. I go, this is just horrible for me. I go, I wouldn't even. I go with the shit that I've seen happen on here. I don't even know if I'd recommend this game to anybody. You know, because I go, this is the worst I've seen. I go, you guys coming on here acting like dicks to him, making all these accusations with no proof. But I go, when it's brought up that you guys should turn it over to the game, all you guys got are a never-ending supply of excuses why you can't do it. And I go, the worst one is you're like that the server doesn't care because people have reported racist stuff and they don't care. Nude pictures, they don't care. Well, I go, yeah, I go, that's possibly true, but I think it's more likely that you've been making things up. And, maybe you guys firmly believe it, but there's no evidence for it. It's not based in reality. You might be off your meds or maybe you need some. But I go, but I seriously doubt that it's true because you haven't shown us any proof. You probably can't show them any proof. But the question I have is, if what you're saying is true, and I really don't think it is, but let's just say it is for the sake of argument, if he's so horrible, if he's absolutely so horrible and the game is okay with it, they're enabling him by not punishing him, by not caring. I go, if you're so moral superior that he's so bad that we can't be friends with him, we can't be in his team. I go, why on earth, if you're that morally superior and you're that righteous and everybody else should be too, I go, why would you want to play for a game that's run by that company? I go, none of this makes sense for me. And this guy has basically started treating them the same way. He's repeatedly attacking them. He's purging them, and he's repeatedly doing it. And he keeps telling them, all you guys got to do is leave that team. Don't associate. I go, just like Thunder, man. These guys are so awful. They're breaking the server rules. Cut them off. Don't hang out with them. Don't hang out with their wives. Don't be on any team with them. Go start a new team. Go join another fucking team. And he goes, otherwise, I'm going to keep hitting you. And I think it was this. I think it was this morning. It was either this morning or it was yesterday. He had been off for because I hadn't seen him for a while. I'm, oh God, I figured he burnt out, right? Well, he just came on either last night or he came on this morning, and he goes, "Man, I've been gone for 22 hours. I made it back just in time." And he started attacking these guys, and he goes, all you got to do, leave that team, go join a good team. These guys are corrupt. All this things. I'm going to make up stuff about them like they did on Thunder. These guys are corrupt. All you got to do is leave those teams. And then he's like, oh, got one. And then he made a comment, and they go, oh, yeah, he blocked you. You can't see him anymore. And then he goes, oh, well, tell him I just got another one. And he's going around, and he's just being so cheerful and so polite about it. And then he goes, oh, man, you tried to run. You weren't fast enough. And then what happened was the whole alliance that was online started pulling their troops out of the resource farms out in the world. And he goes, oh, man, you guys are giving up? I'm gonna get everyone I can before you get them all out, and then he made the comment that he goes because the people started coming. I go, okay, I'm out. Bye, World Chat. We'll be back later. And then one of them said, I'm tired of the bollocks. So if this guy keeps it up, some of these players are either gonna quit playing, or they may leave the server. And either way, I don't care. Because it'll put, I hate to say it, because there are people that are on that. They used to be in our team, and they're really good people. They really are. But I'm sorry. They were like, if you watch Band of Brothers, They're like that. Those people that were nearby the concentration camp when the Band of Brothers found the concentration camp. They knew it was going on, and they just stood there and let it happen. And that's what these people are doing. It's a good social experiment, so you can actually see and understand how the Holocaust happened. Because these are not necessarily bad people, but they're not good enough to fucking leave. They're sitting there because they can profit from it. But as soon as the same thing started happening to them, then the whining started, the crying started. So I'm actually kind of a big fan of this guy. And then the funniest part was because he was just attacking them, and then they got this weekly thing where you can put in, like, you get things from attacking and doing stuff, and then you can use them. Doesn't cost you any money. It's free. You can put them down to have a chance to win a subordinate city, and you can put them down. There's like three, four, or five of them a day, and they go like or there's like five or six groups. There's three, four, or five in a group, and then what they do is every couple like it gets to the drawing day, and every couple hours they start drawing from that group. Then it's a few hours later they start drawing from the next group. Well, he got one and he didn't want it. And so he threw it out there. He goes, anybody want this subsidy? It's available for anybody. And then he goes, and there was like a pause, and he goes, it's available even to FAM. If you guys want it taken, it's open to anybody. Just because I'm a hell of a nice guy, and that probably made some of them cringe. And what happened was I heard, oh yeah, Rusty, you get that. You get that. Good for you, Rusty. You get that. You've really earned it. Because I guess he's been hitting Rusty. Rusty's like 4 levels higher than him. Rusty has been getting pounded by this guy for a few days, and he goes, "Yeah, Rusty, you've really paid for that." And I mean, I'm just like cracking up. I hope he keeps it up because um, maybe not. They'll have enough people leave it. But the thing I'll tell you this: he's been hitting their farms. This is the first time since they started attacking Thunder where their alliance was not leading this morning in the resource gathering. MMO was. I hope he keeps hitting them. He can't. Some of them they can do with or without his interference, but some of those they may not be able to do them. And see, the other thing is those guys really like winning the server wars. I honestly hope he keeps it up. It's the rules of the desert. Somebody that can destroy a thing controls a thing. The terrorist. I think that was in the movie Dune or something like that, or the books. He who can destroy a thing controls a thing. So he needs to keep this up so we don't win the server war over and over and over again. Like, keep attacking him during the server war. I don't know if he will or not, but that's what he should. Hey, look, I don't really care. All these people in FAM, they need to leave. They need to leave and go join another team. I'm attacking everybody in FAM. I don't care if it's server war or not. If you guys want to start winning the server war, you guys got to deal with these 4 or 5 guys. It's 5 or less. It's somewhere between 2 and 5 guys that are doing this. I don't know how many are involved and how many of them just got caught up in it. And he goes, you should just tell them, you guys got to deal with this shit. And until you do, you guys are not going to win another server war. You're just not. I'll be giving coordinates to the where family is. I'll give them the coordinates. I'm going to narc you guys out just like you guys were doing to Thunder. This stops when you guys stop. Those guys that created, they don't just need to change their name again. They need to leave the server. They need to leave the game or leave the server and don't come back. I really hope he does it. I'm sorry I didn't have a better stream, but that news at the beginning, I thought that was pretty good. And peace out, and I hope everybody has a pretty good day.